Start the counting down. The first map is Terminus. Not a brilliant map here for Bischu, to be honest. Does favor Stephano a little bit more in terms of being a little bit Zerg favored over Protoss. But what can Bischu do? He has been performing very well in this tournament, but then you can counter that argument was he's only been playing PvPs. Can he perform well in Protoss versus Zerg as well? And apparently something is wrong, and I don't know what, but we're going to get ahead and restart that match. This is Stephano, world champion IPL4, ESWC. This kid is good.
Yes, kid does think he's good. He doesn't like the ambient noise of Counter-Strike Go, however. He's actually right next to the stage. They can hear various explosions and things like that, but I'm sure he will deal with it. He is a consummate professional. And ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring you Millennium Stephano. He is in the pink trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the east of Terminus versus his opponent, Dignitas Bischu. He is in the yellow trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the north.
And Dignitas Bischu is going to go for a Forge Fast Expand here. The pylon will be on the lower ground a little bit later than he would have liked. So he's going to get a bit of a supply cap. A little bit of a mistake already in this game. As you can see now, as that probe finishes, he can't build another one straight away. So a little bit of a mistake already from Bischu. But nevertheless, he's going to be able to go out again. I'm not sure if he's going to be trying to go for a super early gateway, is he? Oh my god.
Really?
10 gateway here for Bischu, and I think that probe is going in the right way. Yes, it is. And wow, this is going to be a super fast game either way. And oh no,
what?
Did he? No. Oh, okay. He's going to go back and build the second gateway. So he's going to go back and build the second gateway very, very shortly. And it's going to be on 12 supply. He's not going to do it on 11. But so double gateway opening here, and this may not work out so well simply because the Overlord is going to go in. Is going to see the Nexus, and then the first thing it's going to do is go directly to the natural to check if it's a Forge or Gateway. And we've seen how Stephano played earlier against Grubby's play, but actually thinking about that, Stephano didn't do that well against Grubby's 2 Gateway play.
No, he didn't.
So, and this is really early as well. And the spawner pool is put down on 14 supply, so it's not going to be too bad. Hatchery's going down on 16 as well here as well.
Yep, Stephano now flanking around, and he'll start to make his way to the ramp. It's still going to take him a little bit of time to discover exactly what's going on. The second gate will be up before he finds that. Expansion coming down for Stephano. He's got the pull first.
So
and
he just saw that the Nexus Chrono Boost did something, but what can it be at this stage of the game? It has to be something. So I think that Stephano should already know what's going on now. I mean, he should read the game quite easily. But right now he's starting to build Lings. Will he continue to build them? Actually adding on drones, so I don't think he reads it as well as he didn't see. I mean, the Nexus went, and it wasn't onto the Nexus, so what else is it going to be on?
Well, it is a very, very small subtlety. It is potentially possible to miss that.
And he sees it now, so the Overlord sees it. He knows what's going on, and can he defend against it? He only has 2 Zerglings out right now. That's not enough. More are on the making, and these Zealots are streaming down incredibly fast.
Yeah, it's a good position for it as well, and Bischu, I think, may have watched that Grubby game and paid attention that there was a potential vulnerability he could exploit there. He's going to try and take the hatchery out, which is probably not a terrible idea. The link out isn't big enough to stop that from happening just yet. Admittedly, it's going to take a while for them to beat the door down here. If they can there you go, he forces a cancel, very nice, and is now going to make his way into the base.
Yeah, and also we are taking gas now from Bischu, so I'm not even sure he wants to expand now. He might just go for like a 4-gate from the initial 2 gateways here. That is a viable option for him to do, but now he won't really be able to achieve that much in here. A few drones getting picked off, which is obviously great, but at the same time, if he gets surrounded...
Yeah, Stephano goes for the surround, and Bischu tries to give him the slip right there. He's able to. He brings in another Zealot to reinforce, trying to make those Zealots around. Doesn't want to lose that one to those Queens. That would not be good, and he's going to get chased down and eliminated there by Stephano. He was pushing this one away. He does have out 4 more Zealots. That's enough to crack that, and he is forcing nothing but units here from Stephano, and Stephano's got so much money banked up because he's got no way to spend it.
Yeah, I mean, at this scenario, you can actually throw down the macro hatch inside your own base and then double inject into both of them to get more lava. But right now, he will want to try to expand shortly. The thing is, the Cybernetics core is finished, and we now are going to see I'm pretty sure we're going to see Bischu throw down additional gateways. He's literally going to go for a 4-gate. I really don't think he's going to try and expand here. If he does, then he's going to be playing a little bit behind because Stephano's going to try and double expand for sure to try to get back into this game. And the Overlord of Stephano was a bit out of position on the natural, only just now going to go in and see, Oh, wait. There's not a Nexus now? You didn't expand?
Yeah.
What are you going to be doing here?
Yeah, that's a little bit worrying, isn't it? An interesting move here for considering if you were going for the 4-gate. The Chrono Boost has been spent on the gateways. Double gateway Chrono Boost for the Stalkers, and not, in fact, on the Cybernetics core.
Yeah, and basically what we're going to be seeing now is a lot of Stalkers coming out. So he's not actually going to go for a 4-gate, but he's going to go for a lot of Stalkers, Chrono boosting them out, so he's going to be able to pull them down. And there is an additional gateway being put on, and he's going to start piling on the pressure.
Yeah, and he's got a reasonable force for it. He's got a couple of Stalkers in the mix this time around. There's the army supply going up, and Stephano is getting caught out of position here for the moment. Needs to back off immediately. There we've got the Spine Crawler, and the quick push on there. Wants to try and deny that again. If he can do that, that will be absolutely crucial. I think he can. There's really nothing he can actually do to stop that from happening. And down it goes. Another cancel forced on that hatchery. A terrible position for Stephano to be in.
And Stephano's going to get a surround on these, but there's a lot of Zealots here. Can easily fight against these Lings, and he's going to be able to warp in 1 unit. The pylon has been placed down, so he's going to start to warp in 3 units at a time now, and I don't know how he's going to do this. If he goes up here, though, this is a bad place for Bischu. Yeah,
that's not a good place to engage. He's able to take the Queen, but he's going to have to deal with 2 Spine Crawlers. He's been surrounded at the bottom of the ramp and is going to get eliminated. I think he's overextending himself and not doing that well at all.
Yeah, and I don't think that... He shouldn't have really gone up there. He needed to do something, but probably not have gone up there. Walking into 2 Spine Crawlers, getting trapped. Now he's on the back foot. Now he has to try to wall in. He did delay the hatchery for so long, so as long as he throws down his Nexus right now, he's not in a horrible position. He has to defend against this, and he does very easily. And he has walled himself in a little bit, but this is the version without the rocks there to give access into the 3rd base, so he's not actually in a terrible position right now. Nexus does need to go down if he wants to do it. But look at this, he's actually warping in more units rather than building the Nexus. But that Overlord still is going to see this and see there's no Nexus down. So Stephano already knows that an all-in is coming again.
Stephano with the standard 3 hatchery build at the 9-minute mark. He's grabbing a macro hatch and of course then 2 bases. We've got 2 Spine Crawlers at the front and more coming in there. This Overlord does not actually see that pylon. It has no idea about that. There's nothing in Stephano's vision there. The creep will spot it eventually. The creep tumor is going to extend that out there. It should see it maybe in about 20 or 30 more seconds. I have to wonder if Bischu's going to get another warp in and then try and deny that 3rd. If he wants to do that, he's going to have to do that pretty quickly.
And he's going to see that probe now, so he's going to suspect that the pylon is there. And he's adding on a lot of Spine Crawlers, 4 Spine Crawlers in total. He can easily move them in position, but Bischu needs to go soon because it's been spotted, the pylon, which means that, the sentry actually has been spotted. The sentry on the lower ground has been spotted. He knows that all these units are there now.
Yep.
He's making nothing but Lings and adding on bearings to help combat these Zealots and sentries. But what Bischu needs to do is force field well. If he can force field well, he may be able to get a win here, but it's going to be extremely hard.
Yeah, this is sort of the time where the 1-base play starts to peter out, and this has got to be good right now. The Banelings are getting into that. That was disastrous right there. Overrunning it, Stephano annihilating Bischu's forces. The force fields were not good enough, and that's an easy surround and a complete elimination there. Stephano takes him out, no problem.
And now Bischu expands behind it, and he's in a terrible place right now. Looking at the drones, 33, all of a sudden we're literally going to see Stephano build 1,000,000 drones. He has a macro hatch. He just needs to throw down 2 Overlords right now. He's a little bit supply capped, but once he unsupply caps himself, he's literally going to be able to expand to a 3rd base, build 20 drones, and be so far ahead. We also need a Stargate going down though as well to start putting pressure back on, and also to make sure that a Ling Baneling bust doesn't happen either. So he's playing a little bit defensive on that side of things too as well.
Yeah, Bischu now lagging severely behind in terms of his economy, and it's unfortunate he wasn't able to do the damage. I just feel like he overcommitted in that attack on the ramp, which is what put him into this slide there, and then without the correct force fields, losing that 2nd engagement there that he really should have done better on, has resulted in Stephano regaining the lead that he would have otherwise lost. Now Stephano with full map control, at least until this Stargate comes out, and the Nexus coming down for Bischu as well, and a 2nd Stargate being added on here.
Ooh, so all in after all in after all in. I mean, it's going to keep coming out now, so more Phoenixes are on the way, and he's going to be able to do a lot of pressure here. And I was going to say potentially he could try to grab a super 3rd base, but the way this map is structured is that the destructible debris takes a long time to kill with minimal units right now. So I'm wondering if this double Stargate will actually work. It's going to be tough because he's kind of expecting Mutalisks and kind of blind countering the Spire, but that's not the case in this game.
It's going to be a straight-up ground bust by the looks of it. He is going to add the layer on. That could just be for roach speed and build a large number of Lings of Roaches and then just simply assault the front. And that wouldn't really be too much of a problem, honestly. He could beat his way through there, and we'll see how that one works out for him. The Phoenixes could start to do some fairly severe harassment to these mineral lines on all three bases. It's a very, very easy hop from base to base. But I'm still not entirely convinced by the strategy. He is starting to catch up now in terms of his work account, but he is playing from behind, and he has been really for the past 5 minutes at least.
Yeah, and this kind of, what Bischu's doing is kind of blind countering as much as possible. Just like, all right, if he's going to go Muleless, maybe then I can get this kind of, this counter by guessing, and it's not going to work out so well for him at all.
It was spotted. The actual Ling managed to get its way in there and spot both Stargates that were not far back enough. There are 7 Spore Crawlers being made in order to prevent this. And now, is that 8 possibly? It might have even been 8 going up there. But it's simply the case of he knows that this double Stargate play is, as he said, kind of all-in-ish. He needs to throw it in there and catch up. And if he could shut that down by the effective use of static defense, then he has nothing to worry about.
And basically, Stephano can very easily throw down a Hydra Den now, start spreading creep towards the base of Stephano, and eventually he'll fall down. The thing is, what Stephano needs to be sure of now is to make sure he can defend successfully. These double Phoenixes, as long as they're completely nullified, and he spent a decent amount of money on defending it, he will be in a great position, to be honest. And so far, we're having double Void Rays actually coming into the mix now as well for Bischu, and he will want to expand surely as well. He's going very gas intensive. He literally cannot warp in any units from the ground, from the gateways, because he doesn't have enough money.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like a Bischu's move here. It's an interesting play, and Stephano doesn't really have what he needs to deal with that. What I'm concerned about is that Stephano goes +2/+2 with the range, and then has an easy transition into Roach Hydra. And if he does that, then all of this airplay is going to be ripped to shreds, and Bischu's going to have to do some real damage, not just a little drone here and there before that happens. I mean, Bischu's killed 6 workers. Does it make a difference? Not really, not against Zerg. He's already got 69 workers available.
And the Spire has gone down. Basically what the Spire is going to be for here is Corruptors to basically directly counter this air.
Yep.
And also, in case there is any Colossus switches, which are very useful here, and meanwhile the Queen is getting picked up, and nice damage here from Bischu.
Yeah, Void Rays are now focusing fire on that one. It's just got to be nice and careful. And the shields on the Void Ray won't go down to 1 Spore Crawler. That's just simply not enough damage. They're fully charged Void Rays as well. Some fairly severe damage coming in here, and some Overlords will get picked off. Stephano does, of course, have plenty of spares. Another Spore Crawler moving in. Good focus fire could come on from that. He would love to take that hatchery out,
but I don't think he's going to be able to. The 3 Void Rays are not going to be enough to kill both of these Spore Crawlers.
No, he's going to have to pull that one off. The thing is, they've now redirected fire. He's starting to fire from that, and now they are, because of a nice little bit of micro right there from Bischu. Some good stuff, and that Spore Crawler will die to that Void Ray. There's the big lift, and then he can start putting pressure on again. There's another Spore Crawler over there. So many Spore Crawlers ripped to shreds, and a massive commitment of Corruptors to try and deliver that.
He's actually going to be able to do it by just pulling those units back, and the hatchery is going to go down now.
Great control.
But at the same time, Roach and Lynx are coming, but there's enough force fields here to hold this off all day long.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're not going to hold on. Don't let them through. There we go. He lets some Lings through. That is kind of problematic, because they're going to run by and find very little, but still. And this Phoenix force is having a bit of fun over here with these Corruptors. The question is, where are the Void Rays? They're on defense.
Defending now, yeah, but he hasn't got that many force fields left to hold this off. And Stephano is widening the gap. The left force field's about to go down, but these Void Rays are going to clean up 4 in total. And I cannot believe my eyes once again. Bischu is slowly pulling this back. Killing that 3rd base is so important in this game. And he's transitioning over to double robotics facility, which was scouted, but we're going into heavy Immortals now. Then these Corruptors are almost useless to the point where the Stargate units are not being produced anymore.
Yeah, he has forced a huge number of Corruptors out. 12 at this stage of the game with no Colossi. That is a huge number. What can they do? Absolutely nothing. They'll be able to eliminate the remainder of the air, but that's okay if he's just going to transition through into that. And this mass Roach composition from Stephano doesn't actually make really any sense there at all. Immortals will tear it apart. I think Stephano's just looking to attack before the Immortal count gets too critical.
And I'm really surprised that we haven't seen a Hydra Den go down here by
that's what I was thinking was coming.
I mean, Roach Corruptor is pretty good, but when your opponent tech switches over into double robotics facility into Immortals rather than Colossus, that's obviously going to blind counter, or not blind counter, but counter directly this Roach Corruptor style, of course. So Stephano could be in a lot of trouble now. Bischu successfully got up his third base, and he's beating the odds against Stephano right now. And this army of Bischu is so incredibly strong against what Stephano has. Useless Corruptors, you could almost say useless Roaches as well, and Bischu's going to be able to smash through this.
Yeah, now Stephano has plenty of ideas about what that force consists of, and he's going to have to be extremely careful about this engagement. The priority, of course, to knock the Spine Crawlers down so that he can have a good engagement here, and he may indeed wait for more units.
The one big thing is the upgrades. They're 2-2 for these Roaches, only +1, so this is going to be really tough still for Bischu, thinking about it.
Yeah, Corruptor Fire is going to batter those Void Rays down almost immediately, and there go the force field. It comes really down to the Immortals. There's only 4 of them in the mix. I would have liked to see 6 before this happened. Lots of force fields being placed. He's able to push the Roaches back and start to smash his way through those Spinecrawler static defenses now down, but the force field count is now getting very, very low. Another Immortal coming in to reinforce from the side right there. Link's trying to focus on that. The Immortal count is still quite high, and there are enough Stalkers perhaps to batter this down. Stephano getting driven back by Bischu right now. There are still 3 Immortals alive, and those useless Corruptors proving, well, absolutely goddamn useless.
And indeed, these Roaches are, even though 2-2, there's just too many Immortals that destroy Roaches over and over. There were literally 6 in that engagement, and that is far too many for him to handle. And I just wish there was a Hydra Den down. I'm so confused by Stephano not building it. He has enough gas to do so, and that could be his downfall here in this game. And Bischu is beating the odds, especially on this map, which is Zerg favored.
Yeah, that hatchery is almost down. Just 1 salvo will do it, but he wants to focus and make sure that he doesn't lose any more. Corruption being used to try and bring the Immortals down. There are still 2 up, though, and plenty of Stalkers as well. 2 more Immortals coming from the back to crush the remaining Roach reinforcements. Very nicely played. That hatchery now is absolutely doomed.
The hatchery is going to go down. The economy is going to go down. Bischu is not focusing on his background, like in terms of pro production. Going into 4th base, he doesn't care. He's warping in units over and over and over. He wants to finish this game right now, right here.
And the question is, can he do it? We'll have a look at army supply. It's looking pretty good for Bischu, and he's got the units he needs. More Lings being produced in order to try and deal with those Immortals. Down goes the force field. It's pretty good as well, filtering the Roaches in there. The Lings are easily dealt with there by the Zealots at the front. Engagement after engagement going in Bischu's favor right now. Superior army composition, superior positioning, and this is a last desperate defense right here by Stephano. He must throw this back, otherwise this game belongs to Bischu.
It does indeed, but Bischu's army is slowly getting whittled down, but I just think that Bischu will be able to win this fight now, despite 10 more Roaches coming. Drones are being pulled off as well. Can Dignitas Bischu hold for one last time to be able to crush through this game?
He must. Another Immortal coming in right there. The drone surrounding the Immortal at the top. It still stays alive. However, there's the focus fire. Bischu thrown back. Stephano looking like he might even hold on to this one with the drones coming off the line.
I can't believe this is happening. Drones are actually buffering so well. Immortals are terrible versus drones.
Yes, they really, really are. Bischu is thrown back, and Stephano holds against the odds.
I can't believe this is actually happening. Drone Roaches. Drones are doing so well. The Immortals were not focus firing onto the Roaches, of course, here. They were on attack move. And I think Stephano's drones on that natural has just savored his game. He may still, this game may go on, but at the same time, there's so many Roaches coming through, and I actually can't believe my eyes.
That is really nice play there by Stephano. Absolutely clutch defense. Oh, nobody else could have pulled that off. Stephano then smashes through the front line. The Immortal count is not high enough. Probes suck against Roaches, I'm afraid. That isn't going to work out so well for you at all. Stephano continues with the aggression. We're looking at more Immortals coming out to try and hold against this. Can Bischu throw this one back? A force field is down, but will the Immortal come out? It will, and it pulls back as well. Don't attack that. That's a terrible idea. Shoot at the Roaches. He's got to do it. Couple more warpings to stop the Roaches from getting at the Immortal. Great control right here from Bischu. Here comes the focus fire. 1 Immortal taken down. The Roaches continuing to do damage, and there are no units left to finish this Roach force off. Does Stephano win from this point? That would be ridiculous.
Oh my God, Stephano has done it. There's no money for Bischu right now. He's warping in Sentries, which are probably the worst unit against Roaches. GG called, and how does Stephano do it?